Now, my prediction for this deal, I think this gets done in 2 weeks. I think that you're going to see not this upcoming Monday, but the following Monday, they'll get a deal done with Micah Parsons. So it was reported last night by Sean Sharif. He is on 105.3 The Fan. That's the flagship station of the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. He's saying that there was a 4-hour conversation between Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones yesterday. Now, the agent was not physically at the meeting. That's not to say that the agent wasn't present via Zoom or one of these other, meeting type of apps that people use for meetings. I do believe that the Cowboys and Micah Parsons are making progress when it comes to these contract negotiations, because I personally think that Jerry Jones thinks that this negotiation is closer to the finish line than Micah Parsons does, right? And that's why I don't think the Cowboys are really stressing that much, because this is not a hard negotiation to do. Okay, you want 4 years. Fine. You want more money than TJ Watt. Fine. Boom. Money, years, already agreed upon. Right there. Boom. Now it's going to come down to terms and guaranteed and all that stuff. It's not a hard contract to do. When you have a player like this, it's really just about, okay, these are the years that I want. I want 4 years. Team might want 5 years, right? And then the terms. That's all this comes down to. The Cowboys, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, it would shock me, but they could absolutely get this deal done by the end of this weekend if they really wanted to. Now, my prediction for this deal, I think this gets done in 2 weeks. I think that you're going to see not this upcoming Monday, but the following Monday, they'll get a deal done with Micah Parsons, because they want to steal all those headlines for Monday morning. So that is my prediction there. And I actually do think that the Cowboys brass are confident that they're going to get this deal done before the season. But it is interesting to think about, right? The Cowboys do have that 5th-year option control over Micah Parsons, and they have the 2 franchise tag years. So what I'm really interested in is, are the Cowboys actually going to lean on those franchise tags for Micah Parsons? Because I just don't think that that's fair to the player at all. Like, I get it. You do have leverage. You do have that control over a player. But at the same time, like, you don't have to do that. Like, you can actually treat your players the right way, because then what happens is that players aren't going to want to play for your football team. Now, the Cowboys actually might not even really care about that, because they don't really care about attracting big name free agents as it is. So there is that. But, the thing is, like, when you see a team like the Philadelphia Eagles and what they're able to do with signing their guys and taking care of their guys, agents tend to say, okay, we have a player that, maybe they're looking for a prove it year, right? Where they're on a 1-year cheap contract and they're looking to go to a team that, might pay them or put them in a position to get paid. Those agents are going to say, hey, go to the Philadelphia Eagles. If you perform for them, they will pay you. Just like Zach Bond did this year. Zach Bond was what? A $3 million player that the Eagles signed last year. And he went over to Philly. And what happened was he took the 1-year deal, and then he got paid top of the market at the linebacker position. Agents aren't doing that for the Cowboys. They're not saying, hey, you're looking for a team for 1 year to boost your value, go to the Cowboys. No, they're going to go to teams that actually take care of their players. And again, that's one of the small margins. It's all about the margins in the NFL. You win on the margins. And that is one of the margins that the good teams, that actually take care of their players early and actually get these guys signed and don't cause a whole hassle for the agent. That's where those teams take advantage of that stuff. Those players that, hey, 1 year, prove it. Go to this team because they're going to get you paid. And agents just, they don't like working with the Cowboys because of the negotiation tactics from the team. Like, the best way to get a deal done to your liking is to just get these things done early, right? Like it just, yes, it's something that you hear all the time in the media and on social media. And I get it. I'm not an executive. And if you want to say for certain players, like they just signed Oso Digizua this offseason, if you wanted to say, we'll hold off and we'll wait to pay this guy, fine. That's completely fair because he's not a top of the market player. But when you have a top of the market player like CeeDee Lamb, like Micah Parsons, like Dak Prescott, you just sign these guys early. You get it out of the way. Yes, they might get injured. These guys might get injured and miss time while you pay them. It's a risk you got to take because other teams are taking that risk. And if you're not willing to take the risks that other teams are willing to take to make your football team as good as it could possibly be, you're not going to be as good as them. You're not going to play on the same field as them. It just is what it is. You have to take risks. And especially now they do sign, eventually they do end up signing these guys and paying them a lot of money. But like with the injury risk that they've talked about over the offseason, don't you think it would make sense for them to even sign these guys earlier to get them at a lower price? Right? Like that's how you get these guys to take discounts, quote unquote. It might not be a discount when you sign them, but like right now, $40 million is the top of the market for non-quarterbacks. They signed CeeDee Lamb last year to a $34 million contract. That's starting to look like a bargain now because as time passes and as players get paid, that's the stuff that happens. But if they would have signed CeeDee Lamb at the beginning of last offseason or even 2 offseasons ago, maybe you're looking at a guy who's getting paid $28-29 million. And you take a look at what non-quarterbacks are getting paid right now. Now, I will say this. Maybe the player didn't want to get paid at that point, but I'm kind of tired of giving the Cowboys the benefit of the doubt there because it seems like none of these players want to get paid early, even though like with other teams, they don't deal with that, right? Like these guys they just get paid early, like for most teams, so I don't know. It just is what it is. And we'll see what happens. There was some conflicting reports, by the way, when it came to the report from Sean Sharif, but I am willing to trust Sean Sharif on this one because he is going to talk about it on his radio show on the flagship station for the Cowboys. Not only that, he was the first person to say that, hey, Brian Schottenheimer is going to be the coach for the Cowboys. So that's something that you do have to take into consideration there.